Taylor from Newsroom Africa. Firstly, Coach, to pick up on Veli's question, if you can just describe of what each coach has contributed to your career and the way you see football and coaching and where you would like to go. And to Happy, the last two derbies have certainly lived up to expectation. It seems Soweto Derby redeemed itself as the big game on the South African football. Is the pressure any different with the high anticipation for this derby? Especially knowing that people are expecting goals. What we saw in Durban, what we saw in FNB, that's what they're going to be looking for.
Yeah, you said it that the Derby redeemed himself. Yeah, we're looking forward for this one. We're just looking for a true point as a team. You know, we're not looking about anything else. And the most important thing, we don't have to play the occasion, you know, it's just to play the game. You know, we just have to be smart on the day, and I think it's very important for the team.
Yeah, as a coach, you're always learning and developing yourself, and I've tried to do that throughout my career. Is learn from each and every coach I've worked with over the time, and there are many, and not only those I've worked with closely, but those I've played under as well. And of course, each coach will have an effect on your thinking, on your football idea. But of course, that's only the starting point. The next step is for you to go out and do your research and really find your own identity, what works, what does not work, what will work in terms of the South African player, how to get the best out of the culture we have over here. And I can talk about Ernst Marundo for days, I can talk about Joe Zinbauer for days, but I don't think right now I should do that. But both of them have had an impact on me. Of course, Joe only now for a few months, but already the working relationship is really good, and we hope we can continue.
Coach Mazola Molefe from Sokaladuma. Coach, you mentioned obviously changing coaches 3 times in one season. You know, with the PSL so unpredictable, normally it's a season that you would almost write off if you've changed coaches so many times, and Coach Joe comes in. I think the team is 11th place. Where do you think the turning point was? I mean, it's obviously the same group of players, but 3 different coaches, but now there's been a run of form that hadn't been there throughout the season.
Yeah, I don't think you can really point it down to one thing. Of course, the coach, Joe Zinbauer, has to get a lot of credit for that. Yes, for the turnaround, for what he's done so far and the results we've been getting. But of course, everything plays a part. I think you can't discredit Coach Michu when he was here, Coach Rulani when he was here, and then ultimately, I think the players came to a point when they said enough is enough, and really took to the new coach and decided, look, it's time that we start getting results. So it's a collective. It's from what happened in the past 2 years, from what happened now, from the experiences we went through, a very rocky start in the beginning. The coach, yes, deserves most of the credit for coming in, stabilizing, putting a clear structure in, trying to get the best players on the pitch, and putting a clear structure. He has so many ideas that he wants to implement, but knowing it's not the right time right now, perhaps at a later stage, more tactical ideas, but for him, using his experience to be able to see exactly what is necessary at this moment in time, what is necessary for the players to get consistency, to get that team cohesion. I think he deserves the credit, but not taking out all the factors that has happened that is contributing to our success right now.
Yes. Noted.
Coach, your last competitive match was against Black Leopard. I've heard coaches before complaining about lack of matches, playing friendlies and whatever. It's not the same as playing competitively. Was this a good thing for Pirates because the next match is on Saturday, so it means you haven't played in 2 weeks. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Did it give you ample time to work on maybe certain areas?
Yeah, we of course wanted to be in the next round of the Nedbank, and that would have been the ultimate, the perfect situation. But we have to deal with what we have right now. 2 weeks without the game, and you have a friendly match. You don't get the rhythm that you need. You try to get it in the friendly match, but you know, in terms of it's not a conscious thing that the players do, but you play a friendly match 1 week before the derby. Unconsciously, the players are going to give 10% less, knowing that they do not want to get injured. So you don't really get out of the friendly match what you get out of a competitive games, like say for instance the Nedbank Cup. So yes, we are at a bit of a disadvantage, but that is what has happened. And we try to get the best out of our situation and trying to be ready for the match. Ultimately, like I said, the perfect situation is being in the Nedbank Cup, going to the next round, building that confidence, but we'll be prepared 100%. Some players, on the other hand, the advantages of not playing is some players get to recover from the injuries, and you get players more fresher. But yes, like I said, the derby is a different game. Form goes out the window, game rhythm goes out the window, and it's that 90 minutes from start to finish is what determines the result.
We'll take the final 3 questions, starting with Humulemo.
Thank you, Humulemo from the Sowetan. Coach Fadlu, in terms of how the team was playing in December, I think it was more or less the same formation, under Rulani, where it's 3-4-3 with Mhango up front. What would you say has changed? Has Coach Jay-Z had to change much at all? And how do you motivate a player like Mabasa, who was sort of doing well and scoring the goals early in the season, but is not playing now?
In terms of formation, I don't think it's really the same formation we've been playing. I think the coach is quite flexible, changing in matches to different formations, to different strategies within the formation. And I think that has been the major change, whether we press high, whether we press in a medium block, whether we play for the next 15 minutes in a counter-attacking situation. So there has been, formation is one point, but there has been a lot of changes that has been happening in terms of our approach to the game, that the players have been taking step by step. And like I said, the new coach has come in and not wanting to reinvent the wheel, or not wanting to make a 360-degree change, but step by step trying to implement his style of play, exactly how he wants things to be done, and still not perfect. Yes, the results have been there, but I think we're realistic enough to know, for instance, a game against Black Leopards that we score in the last minute with a deflection is not down to formation or not down to anything. So step by step, what the coach is trying to implement, and knowing what new information the players can take and cannot take. Of course, we have a technical staff, highly qualified people that is always his sounding board, giving him the information from the physical side, from the analysis side, in terms of the opposition as well. So, like I said, the coach has, I think, systematically put in step by step, and of course, it's a never-ending thing, because you aim for perfection, but you never get there. And I think step by step we're getting there, building exactly what he wants to implement, and step by step I think we will get there, but it needs more time, definitely. Mabasa. Of course, Tegofatso has been in form and is second top goal scorer after Gaba. But so it is for other players as well, Justin Shunga as well, Zakela Lepasa as well. The competition is really high, and I think that has been our strength as well. Gaba knowing that if he drops his guard, another striker will come in and take his place. And Fatso, we know his quality, we know he can score goals, but so do we know Justin Shonga, so do we know Zakele Lepasa. And the competition is really high, not only for Mabasa, but for all players, knowing that if one is out, the next one can come in and do a similar job, if not threaten to take over his position. And I think that's the most important thing in terms of a squad.
Coach, just going back to the first round, when you lost to Chiefs in the first round, in that period you considered, I think, about 5 goals in 2 weeks against them, and you come back to this spell under the new coach working together, and there's one area where you've transformed and it's there for everyone to see, because it was a problematic area for you in terms of conceding goals. What happened there? What was key in that turnaround? Because you also produced more clean sheets, I think, in the last 8 matches, and in the league as well. And also just on the issue of not wanting to commit if you are involved in the title race, you remind me of last season. Because Happy says you want 3 points. So 3 points this week, you still have to play Sundowns as well, and you still have to play Veds as well. Are you going back to the Lemon games of last season?
Yeah, if you talk about last season, I think we won 5 out of 6 games and drawing against Cape Town City, which did not give us the lead, but it's a completely different situation. We have nine matches remaining. We won, since the coach came, he's drew 1 and won the rest. And of course, you want to continue that form. It's not a secret. You want to win every match. And our next 4 matches is Arrows, Bidvest, and Sundowns and Bidvest. And we want to approach that game at the time. We're not even thinking about title race. I think it will be extremely the biggest mistake we can make, because the teams are so far ahead of us and have games in hand as well. It's not for us to even think about the title right now. We are building towards next season. We are approaching game by game, and to win the next match, I think, is the most important thing for us. It's a song you can say we sing from the same hymn book, but that's the approach we are taking. By taking the next 90 minutes is the most important 90 minutes of the season, and that's how we approach it. Your second question, sorry?
Yeah, the first question was on the transformation in conceding less goals.
Yeah, I think that approach has probably got to be down to the coach, where he's really tried to develop this unit thinking that we defend from the front and we defend with 11 players. And defending from the front means not that we go into a deep block, but perhaps we defend from the front like pressing a team high up the pitch or pressing a team in zone 2. And I think that has been the mentality shift that whether it's Lodge, whether it's Mahango, whether it's Pule, Memela, whoever's playing Mowowo up front, you have a clear instruction in terms of your task, what to do in terms of each opponent, how to press them, where to press them, and it's a collective unit. We can complement Wayne, we can complement the defense line, but I think the complement should go down to the whole team in terms of the attacking players, how they work as a defensive unit, not only relying on the defense to keep a clean sheet, but to change the mentality, what the coach has put in, to have this unit thinking in terms of we defend as a team, we attack as a team, and keep this unit together, which will make it easier for us to recover the ball or transition between the different phases of the game.
Final question, Themba Shabalala.
Coach, you come into this game as favourites based on your recent performance and Chiefs' performance. How far have you gone trying to instill it to your players that this is a different ball game when it comes to the derby? Because it's all over the place that if you get 3 points on Saturday, it will make things more interesting at the top.
Yeah, if we get 3 points, I think it will make things more interesting for Sundowns. Of course, they will be 1 point behind. I'm sure they will win their match. Will make things more interesting for Sundowns. Chiefs still have a game in hand, and that will make us back to 4 points again with their game in hand that they have. So it's the first time I hear that we are favourites. I think our players know that we are not favourites going into this game, looking at the table, looking at the overall standing of the league. And we have to motivate our players to believe that we can win the game. I think that is the approach we are taking. We've been on a run, we've been winning games, yes, but we are not favourites and we don't see ourselves as favourites. And as soon as we get into this mindset of we can win just by coming onto the pitch, I think that is the wrong approach. And like I said, we have to be. Chiefs are so flexible in the way they play. They can change formation at any time. They can score with a set piece. They can score through combination play. They can score through at any moment in the game with the individual quality they have. And we have to be prepared for all situations we are faced. And we go into the game fully prepared, tactically knowing exactly how we have to approach the game, but definitely not with a favourite mindset. Definitely going into the game believing we can win it, yes. Having the confidence to go out there and give the supporters a fantastic game of football, playing attacking football and trying to win the game, of course, ultimately, but not with a favourite tag, but going with the mindset that we're going out there to fight for the 3 points, no matter what we do, and we're going to do everything in our power to get that 3 points. The supporters and the fans can be assured that we're going onto that pitch to do everything in our power to win the match, and that is the approach we go into the match with.